Hello there, everybody. How are you guys doing? Hello, hello, hello. Happy Sunday to everybody. Let me just make sure that we are alive and in a person. It's been quite the day today, hasn't it, already? All right, good. We are live. We're rolling. How's everybody doing today? Let everybody know we're live and in charge. I decided to come from my teaching table today, just because there's a lot to go over, and I wanted to be sure that I had complete control over over the mouse and over the what we're going to talk about today. Happy Sunday. Welcome to the Sunday Soul Podcast. This is Lisa with Heart Inspiration. And at this channel and on this podcast, we help you lead a whole and healed, peaceful, and prosperous life. And this is episode 12. And what we're talking about tonight is the Jupiter Saturn Conjunction that is coming up rather quickly. It's going to be on December the 21st, which is also the Winter Solstice. And it's called the Great Conjunction. This happens about every 20 years, actually. Jupiter and Saturn meet up every 20 years in conjunction. And then the rest of the 20-year cycle, they go through a number of other interactions or transits. Okay, so there's a number of different ones that actually occur. Of course, you'll have squaring, and then you'll have the opposition. We have trining, squaring, opposition, squaring, trining, opposition, and then quincunx, and then we come back around to conjunction again every 20 years. It's always significant. It's always the end of a rather long cycle. It's a 2-decade cycle, and cycles happen in tens. So it's the end of a rather long 2-decade cycle, and it gives us a real solid opportunity to make some changes or to see some new things occur during that 20-year period. 40 years is a generation, 20 years is halfway. So there's people that are alive today that were not alive the last time that this happened, and there are some that are entering into adulthood when they were born back in the year 2000. And I'm sure that we're going to notice a lot. We're going to kind of go back through some of the significant conjunction times as well, occurrences, and kind of look at it historically. Because this is not a transit that is so once in a lifetime that we won't see it again. But there are some very significant changes that are happening this go around. Okay. So I just want to welcome everyone. I've got my phone here so I can kind of see who's here. Welcome, Trisha. Hello, Anjanette and Melania. Hello. Empress Royal Rain. Hi, sweetheart. Sandra F. and Marilyn, hello. Mystical, hi, lovey. Julie and Janelle and Tabby and Tamika and Louise, welcome, welcome. How are you, Miss Louise? Good to see you, honey. So let's talk a little bit about what a Jupiter and Saturn conjunction means overall. So we know what Jupiter really signifies, right? We know that Jupiter is the great expander. It is not so much the great, it's kind of the great dreamer, okay? Because historically, before Neptune was discovered, Sag and Pisces shared Jupiter as their ruling planet. So if we think about both Sagittarian energy, which is mutable fire, and Piscean energy, which is mutable water. Well, what does that kind of make for us? So we can kind of dive into the attributes of Jupiter just by knowing the two zodiac signs that it has historically and still does rule. You know, while Neptune now is considered the ruler of Pisces, certainly we're not going to ignore the fact that Jupiter ruled Neptune for centuries. We're not going to ignore that fact. So that tells me both signs, if we think about it, are both dreamers, right? They're both rather inspirational. Sagittarius is really a lot about, hey, let's get the gang together. Let's all have fun. Let's do our thing, right? Very, can be very inclusive, can sometimes be very hasty, you know, as fire signs tend to do. But Sagittarius will kind of make some hasty decisions. But also there is a bit of uncertainty with the Sagittarius. Hey, Maria, and hey, Katie. There's a bit of uncertainty with Sagittarius, right? There's a bit of, you know, some Sagittarians that I have known have had quite a bit of self-esteem, you know, from time to time, like, I think I can, I know I can, but I'm still not sure if I can. Is that really the way to go? And then they kind of reach, some of you, don't take any offense to this, because we all have our things, right? We all have our fallbacks, and the fallbacks a lot of times for the Sag is kind of like, well, let's just kind of have fun. let's just enjoy it, you know, and not really kind of make that commitment. But still, when you want to get some inspiration, I, you know, definitely say go to a Sag. They're going to be in your corner. They're going to be rah, rah, let's go. Right? So we get this mutable fire. So this passion and this drive and this ambition that can change and can be molded into what it needs to be. It can evolve. Okay? It can evolve. And then we have Pisces, right? The dreamer, the master of illusion, sometimes the master of getting a little disillusioned, sometimes the master, always the very intuitive master, but the dreams are way out there. And I mean an elevated esotericness that tends to be beyond normal human existence, right? So we've got this fabulous esotericness, this spirituality that's so deep and runs so true and is so innocent. I think there's also an innocence with, you know, higher vibration, of course, Sagittarians, as with Pisceans. But with both, there can be this kind of broodiness as well, because they dream and they dream big, and then what happens when those dreams don't come to fruition? They can become disillusioned and they can withdraw, right? So there's this emotion, this energy that gets set into motion. It's kind of a push-pull. I can see this in the big picture, Pisceans, but they might be delivering this dream, this thought process to you, and you think you're part of it, but you're not. Like, not for sure. So there's this inclusionary yet this solitariness about Pisceans, but always highly, highly intuitive, and it runs deep. What is it? Still water runs deep? Yeah, it runs deep. There's this undercurrent there, a very powerful spirituality. So this is what Jupiter represents. And in both cases, the common denominator is this ability to see beyond the current situation and to see possibilities and an inspiration to do so. Pisceans can be very inspiring as well. They can be very inspiring for you. So, hello, Jeanette. Hello, Mary. How are you guys? Hey, Sharon. So that's Jupiter, and then we have Saturn. I think Saturn gets a bad rap. You know why Saturn gets a bad rap? Because Saturn is always known as this constrictor, restrictive. Do what I tell you to do. Get off my lawn. Buzzkill, just like And things must be in order. We don't do things like that, darling. We don't do things in that way. So in Capricorn, that's definitely where we are. In Capricorn, in a cardinal earth sign, it is most definitely, what are you planning for the freaking future? Whereas Jupiter likes to be a little bit more loosey-goosey and fly by the seat of our pants, right? Jupiter likes to fly by the seat of the pants. Like, we're just going to kind of go with the flow, man, and just, hang out and do what we got to do. Saturn is like, no, I don't think so. I think we need to make some plans. I think we need to plant some seeds. think we need to lay a foundation down and be very judicious with how we do it. Make it very meaningful. Make it very meaningful. And be sure that we're planning for the long term. This isn't just a quick Mercury zip around the sun. Okay, quick 84 days, in and out, whatever. No, we're talking year, 5-year, 10-year, 20-year plans. So we have to be very careful what we're setting in motion during any type of Saturn transit. Very careful what we're planning. So at Capricorn, that's how it is. But don't forget, again, prior to the discovery of Uranus, Saturn ruled and still does Aquarius. And I'm going to propose that because this is the historical astrological methods and beliefs, right? Let's not say that it's secondary, but I feel like we need to be like, you know what? It rules both. So it's not that it's in its second home or lesser home. It's home still in Aquarius, but it takes on a different flavor. It takes on okay, we did the foundational thing over there. Now I get to spread my wings and look to the future in Aquarius. Now I get to not just set a foundation, but now I get to set ideation foundations. I get to change ideas. I get to dictate a different time period. I get to say this is the new way we're going to think at a foundational level collectively. And I get to influence the technological advances that are associated with this new collective thought. So when these great conjunctions happen, they are always significant. They are always meaningful. And this one is one for the ages. This one, my dears, is one for the lifetime. Now, what I want to also let you know about the Jupiter-Saturn cycles. I've been doing research. You know me, I got to do a little research. So not only do we do every 20 years, these cycles show economic changes, social and political developments in these sequences. There's typically very important economic fluctuations. Okay? Economies are changed. Economies are changed. Methods of earning money is changed. Wealth changes. Conflicts can appear, meaning there could be conflicts between countries, between people, with social progress, with some expansion, with liberating groups, or could be also constricting other groups. Okay? There's typically a struggle between freedom and choice, and again, restriction and despotic, if you will, type rule, tyrannical rule, oppression and overreaching rules and limitations. Jupiter is trying to bring in new ideas in a concrete way into Saturn's very concrete and restrictive in some senses, like it's got to make sense, very logical mind. Jupiter being Zeus saying, hey, I think it's great. Let me go give human beings fire. Or Zeus deciding he wants to come down and make new races of humanity that are part God, part man. He doesn't want to just, hang out with Hera all the time. He'd like to hang out with humans. Let's see if we can do some new things here, Oh, I got another new idea. Let's just see where that goes. And Kronos, time, is saying, which was Zeus's father, which Zeus killed to rise to power. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is that then time, or the constriction, Kronos, which is also kind of seen kind of like as the Grim Reaper. I mean, if you look at Saturn's glyph, it kind of looks like an upside down sickle. Is like, sonny boy, I don't know about all that. Like, we got to make sure we vet this information, right? So the ideas that Jupiter brings into the third dimensional matrix, right, from otherworldly, because if you think about this again, I know I'm going kind of deep and it feels a little off, but I want you to follow me. Jupiter being Zeus, being the god of gods, okay? That represents highest divine, highest divinity, right? Supremacy. So these very high-minded esoteric ideas are now being, the energy is those high esoteric ideas, high energy, wants to come down and materialize, and it has to break the time barrier. It has to break the fourth dimensional barrier to materialize into the third dimension. We've got high-minded stuff trying to get down through. And some of it gets through every 20 years during that 20-year cycle. Okay? Some of it does get through. But not only a portion. Not everything. So we're going to hear and be seeing over the next course, I would say, of the next year, between now and by the time it squares. But certainly for the first few months here, after this great conjunction, we're going to be seeing a lot more brand new ideas. We're going to see a lot more global struggle in rules, regulations, jabs, whether to take the jab or not, whether to conform to specific guidelines, restrictions on movement and going to work and having your business. What does this, conholio mean, right? What is it really? And what does our freedom look like? What does our spirituality look like? Who are we? What does the economy look like? Because it's changing rapidly. And how do we function in it? And what's the next great thing? What's the next elevation? And spiritually, I just channeled this a little bit earlier today in the masterclass group session today. You know, Spirit was very, very deliberate in saying that we are moving into a 5 density quickly, rather quickly. We're making the transition to 5D, fifth dimension, fifth density, which means that we then, as human beings here on Earth, are going to be interacting with different energies, entities, so on and so forth. And we have to understand how energy truly works. This isn't just woo-woo-woo-woo, okay? This is no longer just woo-woo stuff, because this is reality. The spiritual fifth and above dimension worlds and properties and structures, if you will, are reality. This is the simulation. So how is the simulation being changed? What's the new programming that's being put? There's going to be a lot of things that are going to be rejected by Saturn. Okay? A lot of things that are going to be rejected by the 3D world. So this is the struggle we're in. But remember, by Saturn being in Aquarius, there is this inspiration to not be so get off my lawn. And to be a little bit more, okay, so we all want to make this change. How does this expansion work and how can we make it work? Now, the interesting thing about the Saturn conjunction dance, they stay in like fire signs. I just don't even know why I can't think of the word right now. They stay in each element for about 200 years. So they make about, get this, 10 cycles of 20-year cycles. They complete that 10-year cycle. The 10-time cycle, so the cycle of 10, bringing it to completion over the course of approximately 200 years. We have not seen a great conjunction in an air sign since 1802. 1802. From 1802 until the year 2000, these conjunctions, this dance, opposition, trine, square, happened in one or the other or both were in earth signs. So everything earth sign changed. The last time this conjunction happened, it happened in Taurus in 2000, May of 2000. Go back to 2000 and think about all the innovations and all the things that happened between 2000 and 2020. The rise, the falls, the ups, the downs, the changing of power, the changing of what is considered a superpower and what is not, the changing of America, the changing of spirituality. We've had a spiritual awakening during that time period. We've had another awakening that some people are calling the Great Awakening. Yeah, but I think there's an even greater awakening coming. And I believe I can prove it to you. So 1802 to 2000, it was in earth signs. Before then, it looks like it was in fire from 1603 to 1782. there was a series that was also in water from about 1400 to that 1603. So the fire signs were discoveries, explorations, independence, free spirit, adventure. So 1603 to 1782. Well, what all happened then? You know, the discovery of America, the discovery of these lands, the 1776, and French revolutions, all sorts of revolutions happened where nations were born and exploration happened between the 16 to 1700s. And then 1802, we saw materialism, wealth, they were all in earth signs, industrial development, agriculture, infrastructure. So we saw, the advent of, different ages, the industrial ages in the US. We saw within the US, even our economies changed, right? Just even here, it was a slave-built economy, slave-centric economy, agricultural. There were a lot of agricultural advances made, and then we have the Civil War, and then we have the freedom and all of this other, right? And then we changed, and it became even more industrial, and then we had some world wars in there that were all based on money or wealth or the desire for some despot or some crazed person to gain more money and wealth. And this last cycle from 2000 to right now, think of all the technological advances that we've had, and think of also all the technological information that's gathered about us. Think of all the spiritual and esoteric information that's been gathered on us and that we have. There's been a great change. It's been very personal. We've seen people like during the .com rise and fall, and then now we've got YouTube and Instagram and all these other. We've had like new millionaires made based on new technologies. Personal wealth, though, this wasn't handed down wealth, because remember the last one of these happened in May in Taurus. So it's all about the building of personal wealth. It has been for the last 20 some years. And now we are in the era of new concepts, ideas, and intellectual development. And I'm going to add on to there spiritual development and spiritual ascension. Oh, so yeah, there you go. Napoleon Bonaparte reinstates slavery in the French colonial empire. Yep. So all of these things have occurred in the last 20 years, leading up to this age of Aquarius. I'm calling it loosely the age of Aquarius because it's not fully there, but we're beginning. We've transitioned. Okay, we're about to transition from this Earth era to this idealism. We're transitioning from an era of groupthink in a tribal sense to groupthink collectively, and which level of collective, who are we going to be hanging around with? Okay? What part of this collective are we going to be with? This is changing us and how we are looking at and viewing spirituality and who we are as a divine being. The individual now fully becomes part of the collective, if they choose. And where is that collective going? What are we ascending to? Could the spiritual ascension have happened without the World Wide Web? I will say yes, because in 1906, don't quote me, but I think it's 1906 here in the US, was the Azusa Street revival in the Christian church. That was a outpouring and revelation of the gifts of the Spirit, as we say in the church, where baptism in the Holy Ghost with the evidence of speaking in tongues, prophecy, faith healing, if you will. These moves of the Spirit were once again rested upon man. And word spread of that without the World Wide Web. I think it would have happened. The World Wide Web is then the precursor, well, computers and all such, the precursor, though, for no matter where you are, this broadcast can be seen and heard, and energy transmitted in a very different way. It can still be very personal, yet very impersonal. The concern that higher dimensional beings, I believe, have with our dependence upon the World Wide Web is that it's also the grand illusion maker. Even more so than television. Although television tells you what your vision is. Yes, I'm drinking from Gorgu. He's still Baby Yoda. I don't like that name. But I do believe that the World Wide Web will assist us, of course, in being able to reach many more people and bless many more people than we would have been able to bless prior without it. It made it easier. It has definitely made it easier for the collective to gather. However, I'm also, well, we'll leave that alone. All right. Let's look at the chart for application. Where is it? Okay, let's try it again. Sorry, guys. There we are. Okay. Hopefully you guys can see that well. Okay, good deal. All right. This is what we're looking at. Mind you, I want you to take a peek at something here. This is from the moon's perspective. Okay, I ran this chart. It's a moon chart. Okay, so it's as if it's the moon's birthday or whatnot. Okay, so it's a lunar chart. Here's the, is this right? Hang on, let me just make sure. This looks a little off to me. Yeah, this is if you were born on December 21st. Oh, that's right, there's the sun. I was like, what in God's name is going on around here? Okay, I was looking for the sun, and I'm like, what? So this is if you were born on December 21st, okay? At the winter solstice. Above the horizon, if this is the day you were born, there would be literally nothing above the horizon except for Venus in Sag. Well, and the North Node. But no planetary transit above the horizon. That means everything that's happening this day is very personal to us. It's a very individual revelation that's happening to all of us as a collective. So both individually, personally, and as the collective. That also tells me, because this is so personal, this is a get ready and let's get going. We've been talking about getting ready and getting going for forever now. For forever in relativity. This is your purpose and your everything is opening up for you. It is time. It is time. We cannot sit and continue to say, I don't know, and not be taking real steps towards fulfilling our purpose. We can't. We cannot just sit and say, well, Jesus, I'm not sure. This is like piss or get off the pot time. This is stars and moon and everything aligning time. This is, do you want to go to other realms time or not? Do you want to live bound to a third dimensional existence, or do you want to be spirit-led, whole and healed, leading a peaceful and prosperous life? Do you want to go into 2021 the same way you left 2019? Yeah, I skipped 2020. Because 2020 has been all about grasping vision. 2020 has been all about grasping vision. 2020 has been about mastery. 2020 has been about allowing things to die. 2020 has been about rebirth. 2020 is about getting your clearing the fog off the glasses and dusting the binoculars off and taking the telescope out and putting it up on the roof and like, ooh, I think I'm going to go to Sirius A today. That's what 2020 has been about. Do you want to gain the mastery or not? Do you want to truly become the captain of your own ship? Do you want to truly, finally become the master and mistress of your own destiny? Or are you going to continue to be beat down, withheld, constrained by third dimensional social mores, religious ideals, and constrained by a third dimensional monetary system that is not going to last very much longer? An economic system that, as we are moving out of an industrial age, fully, we've been talking about that for 40 years. And while, yes, we need industrial plants and things have to be built and things have to be made, for goodness sakes, I need my, Baby Yoda here. But, right, it needs to be made. But one of the primary methods of earning money or having wealth is not going to be based solely on manufacturing and industrial type endeavors. The monetary system is changing and will continue to change. Of course, we see this rise of Bitcoin, and I've heard that there's about to be a federal Bitcoin created as well that's on the horizon. Less material, more ethereal. The idea of money then becomes truly energy. Do you see what I'm saying? Because Bitcoin doesn't really exist. It exists in somebody's brain. Okay? It exists in the ethers, in the interwebs. It doesn't exist in reality. It's not a dollar. But the dollar, even the concept of the dollar or the euro, or the quid, or whatever, the yen, that's just the third dimensional creation. It's not real. Someone assigned a value to a piece of paper, a coin. It's all virtual anyway. But how we interact with it is going to change on a very personal level. So here we are. The sun, mind you, is also conjunct Mercury in Capricorn. Holy cats, people. We are at the equinox. We have Mercury conjunct the sun. On the day the sun stands still, right? Solstice days, the sun stands still. It's either the shortest day or the longest day, depending upon which end of the hemisphere you're in. And there's Mercury right there. What are we going to talk about now? But Mercury is so close, we can't see it. It's occluded. It's like we're not going to be able to truly see Mercury from our perspective because it's so close we can't see it. So it's so close that our physical brain, third dimensional brain, it ain't catching it. It's not getting the information. Here we have Pluto kind of left in the dust here a little bit as it's slow poking its way on over. And here we have 1 degree Aquarius, Jupiter and Saturn. We also have the moon separating itself from Neptune and Pisces on the same day. Now, I want us to pay some very close attention to some things. Yeah, this couldn't be any more fun. The moon and Neptune separating, but the moon still being in Pisces, is rather significant. We have to be careful with our emotions and the energy we're setting in motion at this winter solstice. We are not going to have our third dimensional mind to depend upon. Our third dimensional mind is not going to be useful to us at this time at all. And the reason for that, quite frankly, is because a moon in Pisces gives us a great sensitivity to everything spiritual, right? Remember I told you all about Pisceans, right? We talked about them. A great sensitivity, the greatest amount of sensitivity and the greatest amount of perceptiveness to your surroundings. And I'm proposing to you you are going to be very perceptive and sensitive to your spiritual surroundings. If you have ever operated in a mediumship level, trust and believe we're going to see something that night. Trust and believe your ancestors are going to come visit you if this is what you will. Trust and believe at the winter solstice, this is a time to set new intentions. This is a time to seek out what it is that we are to master on a personal level. The 2 numbers in numerology that are important on this day, the numbers 4 and the number 22, numerologically. So the number 4, I like to pull it up, is a no-nonsense number with a heads-down approach to life and work. Okay? What are you going to be doing? How are you going to be earning? What are you going to be living? How are you going to be working? This is life purpose. This is getting on your mark, get set, let's go. We can't keep pussyfooting around. This is time for you to put in the work. put in the work, invest in yourself, put in the work, do what you have to do, and work on, go higher, go deeper, learn, study, and get out and do. 4 is an advancement number. It's a life path number. It is moving forward in great stability. And since you have the moon in Pisces during this whole thing, and Mercury occluded by the sun, and Jupiter and Saturn within so close to us as Earth, some are saying it will be visible. All of this powerful energy beaming down at us. Soak it up. Soak it up. Your foundation changes. Your dreams begin to become reality. You begin to put meat on these bones. You begin to put structure around what the dream is. You begin to get built up and understand you are the master and not the slave. You are the master and not the slave. You are the master of your destiny. You are the builder of your future. You create your foundations. And this time, Spirit is asking that you do it through a collective consciousness that is a beautiful individuality with it. You're not losing yourself. You are gaining the universe. Hear me. You are not losing yourself. You are gaining the universe. In a very practical and meaningful way. That number 4 being so practical and so meaningful, also, part of what I channeled earlier is this marriage again between science and the esoteric. The two were indispensable. They were indivisible. Astronomy was astrology. Astrology was astronomy. The two, of course, it wasn't until later that they got separated. The number 22. Number 22 is the vibration of the master builder. Okay, I'm done. I'm not even going to talk anymore. We over. Like, I don't even know why I'm talking right now. Didn't I just say the master builder? And I just looked that up. Y'all know I just typed that out. Unbelievable. So let's get with this program. Now we still have Uranus. Uranus is going to be conjunct Lilith in Taurus, trining, barely, but trining the sun. Can there be any more great change? And Mercury, can there be any more great change in a personal way? Everything you've known up until this point with that Capricorn and Mercury there, everything you've known up until this point, beloved, changes. It's shaken. We're entering into the time period where what you thought you knew before is changing. How you operated with this thing and inside this matrix and then kind of dipping your head out and coming back and dipping out and coming back and woo, 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 you know, changes. What we thought changes. There is a revolution of evolution. And we've been talking about this for months. There is a revolution of evolution happening in a very real, energetic way. And if you want to be stuck in the 3D and continue to simply look at this as simply third dimensional and relate to these truths of spirituality and who you are still in your old ways, you're going to get left behind. You're going to get left behind. You're going to miss your boat if you're willing to grab it and say, oh my God, this is what I'm meant to do. I need to change. I see multiple, people earning more money than they ever have before. And I don't mean to keep stressing that, but with that money, that energy and money bringing it in, comes freedom. Okay? It comes the freedom to do your purpose. And this is what I'm learning, and I've been learning this in spades lately. Don't be afraid to dare to go after your dream. Don't be afraid to do it. Whatever that dream is. This is time for you to make your plans and get the heck up and get the heck out. Be the master builder of your scene. Be the master builder of your movie set. If you're going to live on this matrix, and do this movie thing and play this role, you might as well write the best starring role that you could write in your life. That's what we have the opportunity to do right now. In a new way. In a way where we are rearranging, manipulating, manifesting, bringing down through this portal in a master builder method. In a masterful way, mastering the esoteric and the spiritual. Not mastering the third dimensional. Remember, the third dimensional mind is occluded. We don't see it. We don't hear it. It's time to hear from the heavens. It's time to listen to what your transformation has been meant to be and what is the revolutionary evolution that you're making. And that's literally changing who you are. You're highly sensitive to these things, highly sensitive to the higher realms because of the moon's placement. Highly sensitive to it. Take advantage of it. Let me share one more time because I want you to see, let's get to Mars too. Mars is sitting over here kind of chilling in Aries. It's chilling. Now, it's still squaring Pluto though. So here we have the transformation of government. The transformation of government and how it relates to the individual and how the individual relates to the government. So I would also say worldwide, because also we're coming up to a trine of Venus and Mars. I don't know if it's going to make it, if Mars is going to move out of Aries too soon for Venus to catch up. Which means the global passion, the global desire is then going to agree with the struggle that the individual is having. They're going to be in agreement. So I would be looking for some pretty big things to be happening as far as how the people of the world deal with their governments and how the governments deal with the people of the world. I'm not going to say much more than that. Not here. I may do a special where I talk about that, and we'll have that over on my website on Wix. But we're going to see that. These are also, while these are fabulous times for the individual, these are also times for us to not be faint of heart. These are times for us to be very in tune with who we are. This is a time for us to be walking in concert with our higher self, listening intently to spirit. Okay? Listening intently to spirit. And not being ashamed of who we are. at all. Not being ashamed of who we are. Well, we've been talking for almost an hour already. That didn't, yeah. What I'm gonna do, guys, is let me get something going here. Hold on one second. I have something that I'd like to play for you really quick. Hopefully I can. Let's just do this. I want you guys to know I am doing another Be the Light conference, by the way, in January. We're going to take some Be the Light retreat. We're going to take some calls here, some calls. Oh my gosh. I'm going to open up StreamYard if we've got some questions. But we're doing another virtual retreat, okay? January 15th through the 17th. This go around, it is going to be $297. You'll get the 2 days, you'll get the virtual workbook, and then you'll get all the videos. So that is up on my website right now for registration. You can go to heartofinspiration.net, and there'll be something that'll flash up, and you just click register, you buy your ticket right there. So it's $297. I'm going to keep it that price probably through the 20th of December. I might extend it, I might not, but so we want to get folks registered. I'm only doing this for a limited time, so this is a way to invest in yourself and go through some Reiki attunement, crystals, learn about using crystals, learn about spiritual warfare, which is going to be very important in the coming months and the coming years, because we're going to see some entities enter into this realm we've not seen before. So, 297 Be the Light retreat. There's some people that are here in this chat that were in that the last retreat, and it was a great time. So, just want to invite you guys to that. Here we go. So that is the link to join. I'm going to try to look through some of these. Here. Oh, I don't know what's going on with YouTube. Molly, what does conjunct Lilith it mean to conjunct Lilith? Meaning, like, you guys know what conjunctions are when two planets, or Lilith is a calculation, dark side of the moon, so Uranus and Lilith will be conjunct. Hey, Inspirational Touch. All right, let's see here. You just threw your phone. Melania, why did you throw your phone? So there's a lot of CJD, I'm not sure what I mean. Okay, so I've got a question here. Trisha is asking, what is the actual date they move? What is the actual date what moves, guys? Oh, what is the date they enter? Thanks, CJD, for putting that in there. Yeah, this is not kidding. Thanks so much. Thanks for helping each other out in the chat. A conjunction means that the two entities, planets, from our perspective, have reached the same space, same place in space at the same time. Not that they're going to hit each other, because everybody's in their own lane. Right? Everyone's in their own lane. So we don't need to worry about any planets colliding, and not unless something really crazy happens. And I don't think anybody's going to be here. So, and I don't think any extraterrestrials are going to knock things off of alignment. Very good. Yeah, you guys, like, it's I'll run that retreat and a few more during this coming year. It is imperative that anyone with spiritual gifts, aspirations, whatever your purpose is, because no matter what your purpose is, even if it's, you're meant to be, I don't know, a manager at, in corporate America, but you're called to that space, that just means that you're meant to bring your spiritual capabilities to that space. Wherever you're set is where you're set. It's fine. Like, you can do spiritual work wherever you are, because you are a spirit being first and foremost. And that, to me, is another huge part of this transformation. We are transforming out of our ideals and our identity and all of our dreams and aspirations and time being tied to the earth in earth signs. In other words, it was all materialistic based upon what you could do in the 3D. And for those people thinking outside the box in the 4, 5, 6, 7, 8D, that was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. You were living well outside the matrix. You were red pilled. You were Neo and Morpheus and Trinity and all the rest, except for that Yahoo that betrayed Neo. Anyway, betrayed Morpheus. Anyway, point being. So my point is that this is entering now the period of time, the era for the next 159 years. Jupiter and Saturn are going to be doing this dance through the tropical air signs. The next 159 years. That's a long time. So it's just shy of that 200. It's not quite finishing that cycle. It's approximate. So this is the time for you to come to the realization that everything is not tied to just what you can see, taste, and touch. It's now tied to the idea. It is tied to the air. It is tied to the invisible. Your future is tied to the invisible, not what you can see. What you can see lies. It can be changed. It is temporal. I think next week we're going to start on the 7 Hermetic laws. What you can see is a lie. It is an illusion. It can be changed at any given moment in time. I have a full mug of coffee in my Baby Yoda mug. I drink some of it. I no longer have a full mug of coffee. I didn't drink that much, but you understand what I'm saying. This changes. It can be altered in the blink of an eye. Your physical eyes can be lied to. It can be told what you should see. Television. However, your spirit, when you listen to it, cannot be lied to, but lives in truth. Your spirit resides in truth. Your spirit will tell you what's true and what's not, well before your mind figures it out that the gig is up. Well before your mind figures out that there was subterfuge and malicious intent or whatever. Right? So, for example, you get a gut feeling that somebody at your job is sabotaging you behind your back. They are sabotaging your work. They are talking bad about you to the boss. They're just trying to do you in. You don't have proof of that, but you got a gut feeling. That's because your spirit knows the truth. Okay? Your spirit knows the truth. It sees everything. It's infinite in nature. Okay? It's infinite in nature. time. Mystical with the birthday. Mystical got a birthday? Oh, your solar return is on the winter solstice. That's a powerful birthday, honey. Hey, Miss Cameron. I keep feeling as though something or someone is holding me back from my endeavors. It's definitely fear or feeling like someone has done what I want to accomplish. I'm going to reread this a little bit. I keep feeling as though something or someone is holding me back from my endeavors. It is definitely fear of feeling like someone has done what I want to accomplish, knowing they haven't. How do I remove this block? I feel less triggered, but definitely not putting a full 2 feet forward towards my dream I have achieved before without this fear. So, Miss Cameron, I say this in love. Even if someone has accomplished what it is you wish to do, what difference does it make? And I say that because of this, because what dropped in my spirit immediately is it doesn't matter if anyone else has ever done it. What matters is that you have your unique method of doing it and unique spin and energy you bring to it. Now, how do you remove the block? Well, I would go within first and do my own gut check. I would go within and do my own gut check. Or get someone to help. Why? Because you've been able to do it before and you've had measures, you've had success. You've had accomplishments. So this particular accomplishment is outside of the box, outside of the norm, outside of your particular pattern. That can cause fear and anxiety because your third dimensional mind is like, whoa, wait a minute, no. Right? No, not sure. So it's going to do what it needs to do to protect you. That's what it's here for. So it's going to say, or put the brakes on. I think somebody else has done it. Or I think someone's trying to stop you because it doesn't want you to get hurt. So I would look and see where that comes from. Where that comes from. People are not always susceptible to cleanses and healing work I'm offering. But I know I'm a channeler and healer, so I've been hesitant about putting my business out there. So, Ms. Cameron, I want you to email me at admin@heartofinspiration.net. Actually, that's not the email address. I want you to email me at this address. info@lightworkeracademy.net. Please email me there, and we can set up a time to discuss that in further detail. Because that's going to that question there, that is something that we go through a lot with this concept of how do I get myself out there? How do I get client? How do people know I'm there? How do we draw them in? How do they know that I'm there? How do we get this started so that our purpose can provide for our person? And that's a lot of what we're discussing in masterclass actually. So I'm working on. So just email me there and we can have a discussion. Thanks, Jacqueline. Yeah, the masterclass might be good for you. The comment regarding the veil and the ancestors is so true. The veil is already thin. Yes, and they're very active. There's going to be more. It's going to be more than just ancestors, guys. I'm just saying that if you're already sensitive to spiritual spirits. So in other words, mediumship. This is going to be high flying time. Thank you. This is going to be high flying time. Y'all need to stop. I am not whooping nobody's tail. Why y'all in here? Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Yeah. They're right now, they're the ancestors, depending upon how you flow, the ancestors tend to, but I will agree though that the ancestors right now are much more, they're louder, because my father has been to visit me now 2 days in a row. And I don't know if the particular person that saw my father when we were doing our discussion is here, but my father has been with me 2 days in a row. My father does not show up like that. Yeah, everybody's here. So, Sunflower, I don't have it out. If you email me here, LAGHT. If you email me at info@lightworkeracademy.net and just type masterclass, we'll set up a time to chat about it, because I do talk to people before. I don't just let everybody in to the masterclass. So I do talk to people to make sure we're ready and that it's a fit, you know. You're in a new past life mission? Oh my gosh. I love Norse mythology. Can I just say I love Norse mythology? Not today, Thomas said namaste, but in a Mayan greeting? I never heard that. Yeah, our ancestors are showing up so much. So yeah, email me there, guys, and then we'll set up some time. So ancestors, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yes. Also, pay very close attention to, pay very, 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 very close attention to what you are putting out into the universe over the next 2 weeks. We do have a new moon on the 14th. I need to be certain that we do some new moon. We do a new moon crystal grid, so I have to be absolutely certain about that. So let's be careful what we're putting forward and be very thoughtful of what we're putting forward. Right? And that we maintain that throughout the lunar month. Throughout the month. Let me take a look, see, when is the, yeah, because the full moon is then 8 days later at the 29th. Now, understand that this solstice happens at the first quarter. So, you go from new moon solar eclipse, BTW, new moon solar eclipse on the 14th in Capri. Okay? Then we have the solstice in Aquarius. Right? The moon is going to be at first quarter, so it's kind of like first fruits. We go from new to waxing crescent to first quarter to waxing gibbous, and then the full It only stays a first quarter moon for 2 days, and one of which is the solstice. So we see the first fruits. So we have to be very careful what we put forward on New Moon Day. Strange dreams. Yes, there are probably lots of warnings, guys. There are probably lots of warnings happening. Numbers, 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 yes. So we're going to do a very special crystal grid. Yeah, we have to be very careful because we understand that not only, hey, Spirit Reads, how are you? Not only are we starting a new 20-year cycle, but we're starting a new 200-year or 160-year cycle, which reduced down to 7. So we're starting a divine cycle. So this will have ramifications, not just for us, for our kids and our children. Like, this is generational. This is setting humanity up for movement into the 5D. This is the very beginning of it. And we got to, I'm not trying to put pressure on anybody, but it's time to get it right. It's time to get it right. No, you didn't miss it. I don't think, sweetie. Did you miss it? Cryon's channel, which has been misunderstanding. Okay, that's crazy. That's crazy pants, because I have been really drawn to studying and really understanding a lot more about Egyptian mythology lately. It's so much. I don't have enough time to do all the reading. We are tying up lots of loose ends, Spirit Reads. Lots of loose ends. Yeah. There's a lot going. Let me tell you something. But there's a lot of warnings. There's a lot of things to watch out for, but it's not terrible, guys. Hey, love. Hey, Angel. I need more time. Yeah. Atlantis has been popping up in your head. All of a sudden, for some strange reason, I need to ingest everything about Lemuria. All at the same time, I'm trying to ingest things about Egypt. Specifically, the alchemy of Egypt, the alchemic studies of Egypt. It's very, very specific. So that's been just like crazy resonating with me. Is the emerald tablets are Thoth, right? Thoth. I have not heretofore been really interested in somewhat interested in Lemuria and Atlantis, but not really. But I was, for whatever reason, been very drawn to Lemuria lately. Do I know Atlantis was here? No. I did not know that Atlantis was here on the east. I thought Atlantis was over, like, Greece. Where are you, CJD? Thoth. Well, okay, wait. Is it Thoth? I thought it was spelled Thoth. I feel like I can't type with these nails. All right. Hopefully I typed it right. Info at heart of it at lightworkeracademy.net. It's new because I'm setting up a whole new website for Lightworker Academy. I thought it was thought. I've listened to them like on YouTube. I've heard them played before. Can I pin that? Yep, there we go. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna be, I feel like there's information in the ancients that we need to know because that we need to grab a hold of because the ancients lived, of course, there's star seeds, right? Lemurians and Atlanteans and things like that. But the ancient human race, Incans, Egyptians, Babylonians, so on and so forth, they lived spirit and third dimension were the same, right? They understood that the spirit realm dictated everything that happened in the lower realms. So I feel like they had a deeper and better understanding of spirituality and how energy works and how spirit works more so than we do. And so I feel like we're returning back that way, right? It's always cyclical. So we're coming back to those ideologies, but now having the benefit of quantum physics and all of these other things, now we can explain it in a scientific fashion rather than simply it's just a bunch of woo-woo. Like, it's not. So I don't want you to feel heavy. Don't feel heavy, beloved. Okay, I know that it is kind of heavy and it is kind of like Tamika saying this is also heavy. I forget that this is going to be listened to as well. I feel like I'm ready but not ready, if that makes sense. I'm praying for clarity. Yes, definitely pray for clarity. Yes, it's heavy, but it's only heavy because we're making a transition. You are more than enough and more than capable, and you are divine, and you have everything within you to fulfill your purpose. It's just that now those things are being activated, and now is the time to act on your dream. Okay? Now is the time to act on your dream. That's the only difference. That's the only difference. We got this, guys. Right, CJD? We have this, guys. I don't want anyone to leave this broadcast today, this podcast, thinking that they don't have it, thinking that they need, feeling scared or frightened or heavy. It is responsibility. With great power comes great responsibility. But it's not responsibility that we cannot handle and that we were not meant to handle and that we were not born to fulfill. It's just we got to get moving. We got to get moving. I've been saying, I feel like for 2 years, like, I can't do this by myself, because all of us have a role to play. We all have a role to play. We can do it. This is a very, very exciting time, Louise. You're so right. Yeah. Oh. Yes, I know. It is a great adventure. And yes, growth and rebirth are powerful, are painful, yes, but they do need to happen. And honest to God, the pain gets easier. Like, it's so much easier when you go through that first, like, big shadow and the first few chunks fall away. It's much easier. All right, guys, I'm not going to hold you guys much longer. Don't forget, we do have, for those that may not feel like you're ready for the masterclass yet, totally fine. We do have the Be the Light virtual retreat. I'm doing it again. It's the same retreat that we did before. But not everyone was able to get in on it. And we've done it and made it a bit more affordable. I'm going to put an announcement out, but I want you guys to know about it. $297. You can buy tickets on my website, virtual tickets. It's going to be over Zoom. And it's the January 15th through 17th. Okay. So it's a Friday night, Saturday all day, Sunday all day. Okay. Like Friday night, we'll start at like 7 p.m. Central. Saturday, we start at 9 a.m. Central and end about 6 p.m. Central. And Sunday, the same thing. So it is jam-packed. Jam-packed. So we're just doing the virtual workbooks, and you'll get all the videos, okay, when after the retreat is over. Okay, so just make sure that you're just like, woo, cool, and that you got that time blocked off. We'll attune you in Reiki. We'll talk about spiritual warfare. We'll talk about accessing your gifts. We'll talk about utilizing crystals. We do quantum meditation for manifestation and other purposes on Friday night, really setting the tone for the remainder of the weekend. It is just a powerful weekend. So, be there. It's just $297. Invest in yourself. Tickets are there. They'll be there through the 20th of December, unless I sell out of those spots that I already have allotted. Okay, and then we'll perhaps open it back up. And then again, the pinned message here for those of you that are watching, but if you're interested in taking yourself to the next level, identifying, clarifying, and monetizing your purpose so that your purpose can provide for your person, just email me at info@lightworkeracademy.net. That's info@lightworkeracademy.net. And we'll set up a time we can talk and see if it fits. Okay, guys? All right. Thanks, guys, so much. I hope this was helpful. And share this if you found it helpful, and if you found it, insightful. We'll have some more conversations about this. We'll have more conversations. So look out on my community tab. And for those of you that are on my mailing list, look there, because I want to go a little bit deeper into some of the things that I'm seeing that I don't necessarily want to share on YouTube publicly, but we'll do it, probably for free over on my website. So just let you guys know. Peace, love, blessings, and joy be unto you today, tomorrow, and for all eternity. I love you guys very, very much. You guys have a fabulous week. Namaste, everyone. Bye-bye.